Hi guys, it's Leah. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new, and welcome to an incredibly exciting video. I don't know about you, but when I hear autumn or I hear fall, I think of Gilmore Girls. So today I'm going to be living like Rory Gilmore for the day. I have been so excited at the prospect of filming this video. I love Gilmore Girls so much, but fun fact, I've never actually finished the entire show. Somehow, I have no idea how I've gone this far in life and not watching the entire thing. With me filming this today, I am going to mark it as the first day of my rewatch, but I do love Gilmore Girls, and I find that Rory Gilmore and I have so many similar interests and hobbies. Obviously, she loves literature, she loves classic literature, she loves going to cafes, she loves going to bookshops, she loves studying. Not that I'm a student anymore, but I do have an English literature and creative writing degree, and I miss studying that so much. So I feel like we are quite similar in certain aspects, also not in others. Autumn is and always has been my absolute favorite season, and I feel like I have kind of perfected the romanticization of it. I'm always trying to emit cozy vibes anyway. But today, this is the perfect excuse to do some of my favorite things in the name of Rory Gilmore. So of course, we're going to be going to a cafe, I'm going to read in a park, we're going to go to a bookshop. I do a little bit of journaling and talk you through my journaling process, and we are just going to have the coziest, most autumnal day in the world. First things first, this morning I already very thankfully had a cup of tea waiting for me. My boyfriend made me a cup of tea in bed, but the second that I did get out of bed, I've been trying to get into the habit of journaling every single day. Not only is part trying to live like Rory Gilmore for the day, but I do feel like she perfects journaling in diary entry formats, and that is definitely my preferred way of doing it. It is the same old tale that I'm sure so many of you can relate to, of trying to be incredibly mindful of how much time we're spending on our phones and doom scrolling. I feel like this year, but the past couple of months particularly, I've been more mindful than ever on spending so much time on my phone, perhaps because autumn, as I said, is my favorite season. I never want to live the majority of my life through a screen, and specifically autumn, I never want to live autumn through a screen. So the past couple of weeks, I've definitely been trying to get into the habit of journaling first thing in the morning. Truly not even just to get off of my phone, but I end up feeling so much lighter, and I welcome my day with much wider arms once I've done it. There is something about putting pen to paper and emptying your mind before your day even starts, particularly if you are joined with a warm cup of tea. So all of that is to say, not only because I'm living like Rory Gilmore for the day, but I am desperately trying to build the habit of journaling first thing in the morning, and endlessly seeking out ways of feeling fulfilled, not through a screen and not through scrolling, even if that fulfillment is a lot slower. But it is kinder, and it is more joyful. Hi guys, I don't know how well you can hear me, but I'm now sat in a local park. As you would have seen, I did go to the cafe and it was so nice. To be like Rory Gilmore, I did get a coffee. I don't drink actual coffee, so I did get a decaf, otherwise I knew I would have the shakes for the entire day, and that's not really the vibes I wanted. However, whilst I was at the cafe, I finished in its entirety I Have More Souls Than One, I think is what it was called, by Fernando Pessoa, and that was a poetry book by him. He's an author that I wanted to read for years. I really want to read the Book of Disquiet, but I'm a little bit intimidated by it. But now that I've read this book, I sat there and just read it in one one sitting. His writing style was so good. Now I'm just so excited to start the Book of Disquiet. I'm definitely going to try and fit it in before the rest of the year, or before the year ends. Now I'm sat in the park and I'm going to start The Death of Ivan Ilyich by Leo Tolstoy. This is a really short book from him. It is incredibly autumnal. There's barely anyone here and I can also see the sea, so I'm just sitting underneath a tree and I'll update you when I'm home. I am now home and I had the absolute loveliest time outside. I love so much. There is honestly nothing more I love in life than going to a cafe. Bonus points if I am actually on my own and sitting in a park to read. Are you joking? And I also went to a bookshop. I didn't end up buying anything, but I still had a really good time. I am also now sitting in an Ethel Cain t-shirt. Do I think that Rory Gilmore would like Ethel Cain? No, I really don't. However, I do, and I want to wear my Ethel Cain t-shirt. So I'm gonna sit here now and I'm gonna do my nails. I haven't done my nails in a really long time and I'm just doing this really pale color just to have something on them. And whilst I do that, I thought it would be fun. Okay, hang on. I need to put my phone on charge first. Okay, phone is on charge. I want to say about a week ago, I put a question box up on my Instagram story and I just essentially put, if I say Rory Gilmore, what do you think of? And I did look through the answers about a week ago and some of them were so funny. So I thought that we would go through them here just to see what the general consensus is. If we think of Rory Gilmore, what do we think of? I'm not gonna lie, initially I put the question box up being like, oh, I could get some fun ideas for what to do in this vlog other than, you know, going to a cafe, reading in a park and a bookshop like I always do. However, if anything, I just found it so interesting and so funny to see what people think of when I say Rory Gilmore. So let's go through them whilst I do my nails just for a little bit of fun. So here is the Instagram story that I put up on my story, and I'm not gonna lie, there were so many funny answers, but the last answer that I got was bad choice in men. When I read that, I can't even tell you how much I laughed. Somebody else wrote classic literature, coffee, a great sweater collection, and some whining, and I'm not gonna lie, that also fits me to a T. Of course, for this video, I really wanted to try and wear a Rory Gilmore coded outfit, which is why I wore my white jumper. I do definitely have another knit sweater, if you will, that looks more like this Rory Gilmore jumper. However, that one is incredibly chunky and very warm, and I didn't really want to wear it today because it's not too cold at the minute. Like, I can still get away with wearing a thin jumper and then a tiny leather jacket at the minute. But I love Rory Gilmore's white sweaters. I hate saying sweaters as an English person, it feels quite wrong, but I suppose we're talking about Gilmore Girls, so we'll say sweaters for the purpose of this video. One thing that I really noticed with this question box is so many people, I think the most answered thing, other than of course like coffee and literature and a bookshop or a cafe, was Sylvia Plath, which makes so much sense. I suppose specifically the journals of Sylvia Plath because of this one Rory Gilmore photo, and I desperately want to read this book. If I'm being honest, the only reason that I haven't yet is because I want that specific cover that Rory Gilmore has. I'm pretty sure it's just like the standard American cover, but we can't get that here in the UK, and I would have to get it like secondhand on a website, and that is definitely what I'm gonna do when I do decide I want to pick it up. I just haven't done that yet. So I do really want to read the unabridged journals of Sylvia Plath. I know that they're beautiful. I've seen so many quotes online and on Pinterest specifically about them. Alongside from that too, I have read quite the handful of Sylvia Plath poems, and again, I really enjoyed those, but I do feel like her journals would be incredibly heavy because obviously Sylvia Plath really did speak about quite heavy topics, I suppose, especially to do with mental illness and her own mental illness. So I know it's going to be hard to read and I know it's going to be heavy, but it is something that I want to read at some point in my life, hopefully in the next couple of years. Okay, another one that really made me laugh was Allergic to Blame. This is the thing, I feel like because I haven't watched the entire show, I think I finished like season 2 and I just never carried it on. I know later seasons of Rory, people start to dislike her and like where her character goes. So I feel like where I'm currently at in the show, I can't really pinpoint all of these little things. So for me, it's kind of like Easter eggs, and I'm really excited to carry on watching it. I think I am genuinely going to start my rewatch tonight, which is exciting. Another funny one was Entitlement, and then honestly so many people just wrote classic literature, classic books, and I love that so much, which is why I kind of wanted to go out to the cafe today and only bring 2 tiny classics. I said it briefly when I was in the park, but I've been really wanting to read The Book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa, but it is a book that I am slightly more intimidated by, and I love classics so much. But when I recently went to Amsterdam and we went for the day to Utrecht, I actually did buy both the Fernando Pessoa and The Death of Ivan Ilyich by Leo Tolstoy. I knew that they were 2 books that I wanted to read for for a long time. Leo Tolstoy is another classic author that I desperately want to read, like his chunkier novels, but they are so chunky that those again also intimidate me. But Fernando Pessoa specifically, I've never read anything from before, and I saw that poetry collection, so I thought, okay, that would be perfect to read for the first time, hopefully really eradicate any sort of intimidation. And I'm not gonna lie, that is exactly what happened at the coffee shop today, which makes me so happy. I'm even more excited to read The Book of Disquiet now. His writing style and his poetry in this book was just so phenomenal. I think I am gonna end up rating that one a 4-star. I really enjoyed it, and now I'm even more excited to read The Book of Disquiet, which is what I was hoping from that collection, but also from this video specifically. Knowing that Rory Gilmore obviously reads from a variety of genres, and she reads so many books, it's crazy, but she does predominantly read classic literature. This video was just the perfect excuse to finally start one of them, and I'm happy that I literally just sat there and read that book in its entirety. It was really good. So I'm really happy with the book that we read in this video. I definitely want to read a little bit more tonight. I don't know if I'll read more of The Death of Ivan Ilyich. I ended up genuinely only reading about 5 pages while sat in the park because it was just so beautiful. I ended up just staring. Obviously I was sat amongst some trees and I love that so much, but I could also see the sea, so I kept getting really distracted just looking off, and there was just leaves everywhere and it was so beautiful. So I had a whale of a time sitting in a park in autumn. Okay, my nails are now done. It really doesn't look all that different, but I wanted at least something on them. It's just a light pale pink, which I really like. But for the rest of the evening, oh my god, I didn't even tell you that I have a book signing tonight. I'm gonna go meet Mona Awad at my local Waterstones, and I'm incredibly excited about it. If you're not new here, you will know how much I love Mona Awad, and it's kind of been a long time coming going to one of our events because I feel like every single time she's ever come to Brighton, I've just not been here and I couldn't meet her. So I'm really excited for that, but once I get home from that, I'm probably just gonna sit down and read, get really cozy, and that's what I'm gonna do for now. So I'll film some b-roll. I don't know if I'll film any b-roll whilst I'm at the event, but I'm really excited about it. So for now, I think I'm gonna make a really cozy and heartwarming dinner, and we'll just see where the night takes us.